Hey there, Thundercats fans, this is Wesatron. Today we're going to be taking a look at Mattel Collector's Thundercats, WilyKit, and WilyKat action figures. These are SDCC exclusives, and there was a lot of hubbub around them this year because as they were being released to the show, they also announced, Matty did, that Super 7 was going to be taking over the collector lines for Matty Collector. Matty Collector will no longer be a thing, so there was a lot of questions about what was going to happen next. Was Motuck still going to be handled? Beyond that, was Thundercats going to be handled because it's not owned by Mattel? Can Super 7 still do it? Luckily, it looks like Super 7 is intending to go ahead with this license. And after the first year is like definitely slated with 4 Horsemen and everything. And after the first year is over, they'll be looking to see if they can continue the line, getting the license. So this is the Blackmailer that comes comes with the set. Over here we see the Tower of Omens, as you saw on the other side with WilyKit and WilyKat. No credits or anything on the back. This is just the mailer. There's a more spectacular box inside this box, so I'm going to go ahead and open that up. Now outside of the mailer we have this interior packaging, and this actually has a slipcase over it. This clear piece here, this is all one giant slipcase that just slides right over the top, and you can see the front starting to unfold a bit there. And that's because right down here at the bottom we've got a shot of Lion-O and the Sword of Omens, and if you flip open just this side, already we're starting to see a bigger picture here, half of the Thundercats logo and the Sword of Omens activated, which is kind of cool. And you flip it both sides open like that, and you can see it says Thundercats Classics, and we've got the figures in here. There's no more bubble or anything here. I can actually touch the figures. So this holds all of their stuff right in here, and in the background you can see the Tower of Omens, which is really cool. On the side we've got a shot of WilyKit, and it actually says her name at the bottom. Same for WilyKat on the other side, and a nice piece of art. And then on the back, we've got the kids running away from the Tower of Omens in the background, and you can see, if you look closely, some of the other Thundercats here. We've got Chitara and Panthro and Tiger and Lion-O, and even a tiny Snarf up there, it looks like. So pretty cool. We do have a little bit of bio down here at the bottom, and if you want to just pause that, I'll let you read it yourself. I'm not going to read it out loud, but pretty cool. Down at the bottom we've got the Matty Collector logo, and it tells you about the hover stands, and on the bottom of the box we have no additional credits or anything like that. It's just a, you know, standard deal stuff. So pretty cool. Again, let's get her out of the box and see further what it's like. Just one final note on the packaging here. Once the figures are out, if you cut the correct tabs around the outside of the packaging, these two parts open here, and you can see they slide out and create a bit of a diorama that if you push up on the top, you can see it's the full Tower of Omens. So that's a pretty neat little trick they've got there. It's not like the coolest thing I've ever seen. It's not the Thundercats theme song, you know, play through it or anything, which would have been awesome because I love that theme song, but, you know, just a neat little addition. Nothing more spectacular on the back or anything, that's all. Here we have WilyKit and WilyKat out of packaging, and before we start, just so we're clear, this is WilyKit and this is WilyKat. So if I make the mistake of mixing up their names in between or during the review, you know, it's just because I'm dumb and I can't remember things. So this is a pretty neat little set. I was just going to show off really quickly. You can see he's now elevated with his hoverboard, so I'm just going to show you how that works. Here we have WilyKit's hoverboard, and on the bottom you see we've got some nice little details there, in fact, but you know, simple but cartoon accurate. Looks cool. We've got a little hook, like almost like a picture frame hook, and a little slot right there. So if you take your trusty stand, which has a Thundercat logo on it, pretty cool, and is on a ball joint, you just flip it around, make sure that the slot goes in there, put your little tab inside the hole, and it should slide up, and then push forward. And if you're not terrible at this like I am, it should lock into place. There we go. So pretty cool. And then of course you could just slide that right out to get it back out. And I guess it's your option if you want to put it like this and get more forward tilt. Well, I guess you still get a lot of backwards tilt. I thought that would restrict it more, but it's not bad. But you've got some side-to-side action there all very cool, and then, you know, swivel, of course, as well. And the base is ovular, so you can turn it to make sure that you're getting your weight distribution correct. So that's pretty cool. In addition to the hoverboards, WilyKit comes with a right hand for holding things, or I guess holding other things. Doesn't look too much different than the hand she was packaged with. And then, where's her other hand? Here we go. These are very tiny hands, by the way. This is just a left holding hand. She's packaged with a splayed open hand. So she comes with her lasso type thing. I don't even know what you're really supposed to call this, but it is very flexible, like super flexible. This is some of the most flexible toy products I've ever gotten with an action figure, so that's pretty neat. You can see a little bit of detail on the grip there. Nothing is painted on it, and a really cool knot. They actually went into a lot of detail on that for some reason. And then back here on her back you see a peg hole, and this is her just cinched together version, I guess you could say. There's a little like clasp right there holding it all together, and that plugs into her back. And hers is pretty secure. He's got a similar type of thing, and it's a little bit more loose. He comes with his two-pronged whip, which I guess is pretty popular with the Thundercats. Tiger's got something similar to it, and it's got two little I don't know, bolas at the end. Bolos? Not sure. Odd, but we've got similar, like, slight detailing on the grip. Like I said, nothing major, but he also comes with a cinched up version. You can see his little bola things on the end, and they also plug into a hole on his back. His has already fallen out a couple times. It seems like it's just a tad looser than hers. I don't know if the peg needs to be longer, or if they just need like a lip on the end of it to like lock it in, but I've had it fall off a couple of times. So he also comes with a right gripping hand to hold said whip thing, which I'll deal with later. He comes with a left kinda open-ish hand, not fully splayed open, but kind of like a, I guess maybe like he's riding the hoverboard, like a balance type hand. You can turn it this way and he could be holding something. And then here we have sort of almost like a trigger hand, like a kind of gesturing, but I don't know, nothing in particular that I see it would work with, but it can work with his accessories. So neat. All of these hands are a very flexible plastic. You can see how simply that moves, but the peg itself is an insert that is made of a tougher plastic, which is awesome because when it's this soft, you know, it's great for getting the accessories in and out of the hands, but you always worry about it tearing that peg. So they engineered it to where it's like a hard plastic peg into soft rubbery plastic hand, so it's very stiff, which is cool. I like that a lot. It was a good engineering decision on their part. Now I'm going to go ahead and pop off his last accessory. He is packaged holding it, and his hands are pretty tough to get off, but you can see he's got his little smoke bombs here, and there's a yellow, blue, and a red one, and there's just like a gray plume of smoke, and you can see there's some nice paint detail there just to bring out that detail. Very cool. I really like the sculpting on it. It looks great. It would be kind of cool if that was maybe a peg hand with a hole in the bottom. That way you could put it on the ground, like take this effect part off and put it on the ground like he had just thrown it. But I'm not gonna, you know, harp on it too bad because it's still a really cool little piece. So for the rest of this, I'll just go ahead and put his other hand on, just so that I don't have that huge thing in the way. The only issue with this is that it's a hard plastic, so it does get a little heavy, and if you don't have it balanced right, it can kind of slide off like that. So just letting you know. Now, the figures themselves are pretty good. Only a couple real minor complaints. Nothing too major. It is odd to me that this was an SDCC set, considering these are two core members of the team. So that's a little strange to me, why they would make that decision. I'm almost curious if further down the line they're going to do another 2-pack that involves the kids, or if they're going to release them as singles and maybe offer them with different items or something. I'm not really sure. And just so you know, he's got the brown hoverboard and she's got the dark blue. So for the figures themselves, we'll start off with WilyKit here. Nice little detail on the face. They did a good job replicating the look of the cartoon. They've got the very large anime-looking eyes, the little paint detail underneath the eye. It almost looks like a cat's eye makeup that goes straight down like a crow mask. You know, the character of the crow, like the tragedy masks, or comedy tragedy masks. But very cool. There's, if you can make it out, hopefully, yeah. You can see that there is some wash detail there to really make the hair kind of more vibrant. It's almost a light brown wash on top of the orange, make it pop a little bit more. Black streak looks really good. Very clean paint on that. Figure itself, or like the belt, looks really nice. We've got little capsules over here on the side. On the back, I said she's got her little lasso accessory and the hole for which it plugs, to which it plugs. We've got her little armband here. You can see I've got some paint slop on mine on the shoulder and on near the elbow. So not perfect paint by any means, but most of it is pretty clean. Her dress is very clean. Down on her legs, pretty clean except for the boot line. Here you can see there's a little paint missing there. The paint matching between plastic parts and painted parts is pretty good. If you see here, this is painted and that's plastic, and they match up pretty well. It might look a little worse on camera, but up close it's not that bad at all. So very, very cool. I like the balance of the blue and the pink on her. I think it looks really cool. As far as articulation, they share pretty much the same articulation. They've got ball jointed heads. Hers is a bit limited, not by any kind of weird sculpting or anything. It's just it's not made to move very well. They could have, I think, brought the neck in a little bit. See, it doesn't slant in at all, it just cuts off at the top. So that probably would have helped a lot to get that head moving more. We've got swivel hinge shoulders out to there. Yeah, it's as far as it's going to go. Swivel hinge in the elbows. Not a perfect 90 degrees, and I think that's because if you look here, the plastic goes over the elbow and then comes back down. If they had cut that little bit off right there, you'd have very nice clearance to get a much better bend. So not great, but not terrible. If you work it a little bit, you can get a little bit closer to 90 degrees. Only swivels in the wrists. It would have been nice to have swivel hinges, but I'm sure that's not in the budget for these since it already has so much new tooling. We've got swivel waist all the way around, no issues there. The hips are swivel hinge joints. They can go forward pretty far, blocked by the skirt. Back, it's open at least, there's no butt to block it, but still blocked by the skirt. Out to the side, she's got these nice slits, so she gets a pretty good range there. Not bad at all, I like that. And the knees are swivel hinge. You can get close to 90 degrees, and then the swivel. No swivels in the boot tops, unfortunately, and we've got swivel hinges in the ankles, which I think is a first for Mattel, at least from what I can remember. And they go down very far, forward pretty decently, I guess. It's not great. Yeah, this one doesn't seem to do too much better. But then there's also a peg that goes into the foot that allows for side-to-side rotation, as opposed to their standard. They usually use a rocker hinge there. So, yeah, not bad articulation-wise. WilyKat is the same in terms of articulation, but let's see, yeah. Nice looking face on him. I think they did a good job. He's got sort of that kind of rounded off nose. Again, the big anime eyes with a little slit under it. Some nice detailing in the hair. There's some good weathering on it and everything to make it look, you know, just bring out the details a little bit. Very, very cool. Liked it a lot. Someone pointed out on the forums that he should have a dark brown to match his tunic on this sleeve, and I do believe that's accurate. So it's a bit of a glaring thing to miss on a figure whose design is so simple, so I'm not sure why they left it off. It may have just been a cost thing, I'm not sure. But it's not something that's really going to bug me. I'm not going to stare at it and, you know, shake my fist at Maddie or anything like that. It doesn't bug me really at all. These were not huge characters to me. I never really identified with the WilyKit and cats of the world, but still, just if you're a stickler for that type of thing, watch out for it. Thundercats symbol on his belt. It's a little off-center. It's not perfect. It's down a little too low, but it's not bad. Again, not one of those things that's going to bother me. Some soft sculpting on the belt here, on the pouches, but it's not too bad. I guess it's probably closer to the show than, you know, than what it would be accurate for real life. So not too bad. We've got some nice lines here that are, yeah, they're actually not just painted on, they're 3D sculpted, so pretty cool. And then for articulation, as I said, same thing, about the same range, you know, arms. He's got a little bit better in the head. I do like his head joint a little bit better. They did a better job of giving it range, and it also goes off flat on the bottom, so I'm not really sure why he's got such better range, but he does seem to have quite a bit. I guess he's got more clearance underneath, looks like. His elbow hinges do get better motion than hers do, and they do have the swivel in the wrists. He has a little bit more restriction in his hips, so he can't go out to splits quite as well. Gets about the same really going forward and back. Like, there's nothing to hinder him except for the skirt. Like, if the skirt wasn't there, he'd be able to, you know, do perfect splits and everything. Swivel hinges in the knees. Some of the joints are a little loose, but not too bad. And then there's the swivel joint. And same deal, no cut joints at the top of the boots, but we do have swivel hinges that go into the foot for nice rotation. Now my left foot here, if you look straight at it, you can see it's a little weird looking. It's because the hinge is molded in improperly. It goes at too much of an angle, so it just makes it to where he's got great motion going that way, and then going this way, it butts up against the ankle, and I get almost no motion. So if I kind of brace it and move it like that, I get a little bit more of a twist, but that's a risk of breaking the figure, and I'm super, super not into that. So yeah, overall, pretty great sculpts, pretty decent articulation. I like them. So here we have Kit and Kat next to Battleground Tila and Buzz Off from the Motuck line. I only brought them out to give you an idea of the relative height for the other Thundercats, because they haven't been released yet. So I can't really show you what they're going to look like with the main group because they're not here, but this should be about the right scale because they're using the Motuck bodies for the most part. So you can see relatively in scale, looks pretty good. WilyKat is right at just above 5 inches to the top of his hair, and WilyKit is to the point of her hair, probably about 5 3/4 inches to the heaviest part of it, probably also right at around 5 inches. So I would say they're pretty much in scale with the other figures, or they will be when they come out, but we don't know for sure until we actually see them. So this set, being an SDCC exclusive and being a box set, it's $60, which is a lot of money. For most of us, the only way to get these would not have been to go to SDCC because they didn't even have them there. You would have had to pre-order them and pick them up. So you had to order them from Mattel Collector, which adds on another like maybe $10 to $12 depending on where you live. So really this set is about $72, which is what, like $36 per figure? Is that right? Gosh, that is very expensive. Yeah, that is a lot. That being said, you do get a lot for your money. For one, this is an exclusive. It's not just exclusive to Mattel Collector, which we're used to. It's exclusive to SDCC and to their website for now. I think they're all sold out now, but they had some weirdness on the website, so I'm not 100% sure if they are all sold out or if they're just out of what they had. It was kind of a mess when they came out, but for your $72, $36 per figure, gosh, you do get a lot of cool little extra accessories. You get both hoverboards and stands for the hoverboards, which have nice posability. You get 2 pretty decent figures. You get the bolo whip, some extra hands for each character. He's got 2 extra hands, plus his little accessory piece. She's got 2 extra hands, and they both have closed up bolos and open bolos. So altogether, it's still very expensive, let's be honest. 60 bucks makes, even if it was just 60 bucks, it'd be 30 bucks per figure for these, you know, little sets. I wouldn't have paid 30 bucks in a store for these. I would have said they were overpriced and then waited for them to go on sale. Unfortunately, can't really do that at Matty. Odds are at some point they'll be on sale somewhere down the line, but you never know when or if that's going to happen with Matty Collector, especially with the future being very uncertain with the Super 7 deal. So for me, it's going to be worth it. For you, it's just how much of a Thundercats fan are you? Do you need the whole team? Are you willing to pay, you know, a fat chunk of change to complete it? Or would you say, nah, these kids just kind of hitched a ride to Third Earth and it doesn't really matter if they're on the team in the display or not? So yeah, but overall, pretty cool little figures, just a little too expensive. 50 bucks, I would have said, yeah, that's probably pretty fair. 25 bucks a piece, you know, for these types of figures. Even with all their accessories, just 25 sounds a little bit more reasonable, even at the small batch number. But yeah, dig the set, dig it overall, like everything that comes with it. The nitpicks I have were pretty minor, a little misassembly issue, some slight articulation issues, and a little bit of paint on his shoulder. Not a huge deal for me. So yeah, I would say Thundercats fan, pick it up. Not a Thundercats fan, easy skip. You don't need these in your fantasy collection. So that's it for this review. If you have any questions or comments about it, please feel free to throw them in the box below. I'm sure there's going to be some questions about these in particular just because of the weirdness surrounding them, whether or not Super 7's going forward, how SDC worked when the last minute changed to the shipping and everything was just kind of crazy. So please feel free to ask me about any of that, and I'll be glad to help you in any way I can. And I really appreciate you guys tuning in. If you'd like to see more Thundercats videos as they come out, throw me a subscription and they'll be up as soon as they hit. So thank you very much, and I'll talk to you later, guys. Bye.